will help us to start visualizing better.
That's what I need. I can't
Yeah.
visualize anything because I have no idea.
Drama in the courtroom reaches a boiling point. Robyn Brown has just been caught in a lie under oath, and the fallout is explosive. Janelle and Meri aren't staying silent this time, revealing shocking secrets about Kody that could change everything. What did Robyn lie about? And what are Kody and Robyn so desperate to keep hidden? Stick around because you won't believe what's coming next. The courtroom was tense. Gasps echoed as Robyn Brown, once seen as the loyal fourth wife in the Sister Wives saga, was caught red-handed in a shocking lie during a heated legal battle. It felt more like a reality TV climax than real life. Janelle and Meri Brown, two of Kody Brown's former wives, stood tall, armed with receipts, courage, and a burning desire to expose the truth. What they revealed shook not just the courtroom, but the entire Sister Wives fan base. It all started when Robyn took the stand to defend what many believed was her iron grip on Kody and the remaining assets from the Brown family's crumbling empire. With tears in her eyes, she claimed she never knew anything about the financial decisions Kody made. According to her, she had no influence over the distribution of family property, no say in the selling of Coyote Pass, and certainly no involvement in the recent financial fallout. But that narrative came crashing down when Meri, clutching a stack of documents, proved Robyn had not only known, but had signed off on multiple financial transactions over the last 2 years. Janelle, who's always been the sharpest when it comes to finances, dropped bombshell after bombshell, revealing that Robyn had been hiding joint property deeds, manipulating family bank accounts, and even working with Kody to cut Meri and her out of important decisions. She played the victim, Janelle stated firmly, but Robyn was always in control. She was never just along for the ride. She drove the car and she knew exactly where she was going. The courtroom fell silent when the judge paused the session to allow for a review of the new evidence. Meanwhile, the internet exploded. Fans took to Reddit, TikTok, and YouTube, sharing theories, past clips, and old interviews where Robyn had clearly contradicted herself. A scene from season 15 went viral again, Robyn insisting she just wanted peace. Yet in the same episode, she admitted she and Kody had private discussions about the future of the family's assets without the others present. What really sent shockwaves through the crowd was a leaked audio clip, allegedly recorded by Janelle last year, where Kody is heard telling Robyn, "They don't need to know everything. We'll handle it our way." That clip alone could change the entire outcome of the case. Meri, long perceived as the quiet, emotional pillar of the family, came into court with a new fire. She didn't hold back. "I spent years being loyal to someone who never had my back," she said, referencing Kody. But watching Robyn lie like that in front of everyone, pretending she's innocent, it's sickening. More twists followed. Evidence showed Kody transferred large amounts of family money to accounts under Robyn's name, allegedly for household needs. But those needs included luxury items, private travel, and even school fees for Robyn's children, while the other kids in the family reportedly went without. Fans are calling it the ultimate betrayal. "Kody always had a favorite," one TikTok user said. "Now we know just how far he went to protect her, and how far she was willing to go to protect herself, even if it meant lying under oath." This courtroom drama is far from over. But one thing is clear, the curtain has been pulled back on the truth, and the family secrets are unraveling faster than anyone could have predicted. The Brown family from Sister Wives always fascinated audiences with its layered dynamics and polygamous lifestyle. But as time has passed, it's become increasingly clear that Robyn Brown is the most controversial figure among them. While many fans once sympathized with her as the new wife finding her place in an established family, today that narrative has flipped. Fans are now calling out what they see as Robyn's calculated attempts to rewrite history, especially concerning her three oldest children and their biological father, David Jessup. What angers fans most is that Robyn's children, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna, had a life and a history before Kody Brown entered the picture. But Robyn didn't just let that history sit quietly in the past. She allegedly tried to erase it completely. From emotional cues to legal paperwork to a disturbing piece of art that still makes Sister Wives fans cringe to this day, Robyn seemed intent on separating her children from their biological father. David Jessup, though not publicly involved with the family, had fathered 3 children with Robyn. Yet over time, it became clear she wanted to remove him entirely from the narrative. She reportedly encouraged, or at least supported, his decision to relinquish his parental rights. Once he did, Kody Brown legally adopted all 3 children. What should have been a moment of stability for the children turned into a symbolic eraser of their origin story. But Robyn wasn't done. She then did something that truly shocked the fan base. She presented Kody with a customized family portrait. In this image, a younger version of Kody was surrounded by 3 children, clearly meant to be Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. But the issue was timing. This portrait showed a reality that never existed. Kody as the father of these children from the start. It was as if Robyn had rewritten time itself to install Kody as the original dad, when in truth, he only came into their lives after they were already growing up. This act didn't sit well with fans, or even with some members of the family. Many viewers recognized that the portrait looked suspiciously like an older picture of Kody with Christine and their children. Robyn's version had replaced Christine's kids with her own and placed herself at the emotional center of Kody's past. Fans accused her of fabricating a memory to solidify her position in the family, and many called the act manipulative and strange. Even Kody appeared uncomfortable when she presented it on the show. The portrait moment was the birth of Robyn's infamous nickname, Sobbin' Robyn. The nickname stuck after she tearfully presented the artwork, explaining it as a symbolic memory that she had created for their family. But instead of sympathy, many viewers felt a sense of unease. They saw it as a calculated act, one that used emotion to manipulate perception and relationships. But this wasn't a one-time thing. Over the years, Robyn has consistently delivered emotional, tear-filled monologues to justify or defend her actions. Another such instance happened during a family church service, when Robyn gave a sermon about saving oneself for marriage. With tears streaming down her face, she confessed that she hadn't waited, and said she deeply regretted it. The implication was clear. She wished she had saved herself for Kody, too. To some, this seemed like a heartfelt moment, but to many it felt like another blow to her children's actual history. She regretted her past so strongly. What did that say about the children who came from that past? Viewers were left wondering, was Robyn suggesting that her 3 oldest kids shouldn't have existed as they did? It was another example of her discomfort with her own life before Kody, and her repeated attempts to reshape it into something that fit more neatly into her current image. Of course, one of the most controversial decisions in the Brown family history was Kody legally divorcing Meri to marry Robyn. This move was ostensibly to adopt Robyn's children, giving them legal security and family structure. But fans saw deeper motives. It felt like Robyn was being elevated above the other wives, not just emotionally, but legally, socially, and spiritually. And Meri's sacrifice? Heartbreaking. She stepped aside so Robyn could marry Kody, all in the name of helping the children. But fans saw it as yet another step in Robyn's campaign to secure her dominance within the family unit. Fast forward to recent seasons, and the friction between Robyn and Kody's other kids is more apparent than ever. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Kody doubled down on spending time with Robyn's kids. citing that they were the only ones who followed his strict rules.
It's scary. It's been absolutely scary what our family culture is looking like because we are not spending time together.
Meanwhile, Janelle and Christine's children, many of whom are now adults, began to quietly pull away. They felt the sting of rejection, the silence of missed calls, and the absence of a father who seemed to forget they existed. As Kody lavished attention on Robyn's household, the rest of his children watched from the sidelines, hurt and abandoned. The favoritism was no longer subtle. It was broadcast in living color on national TV. Kody praised Robyn's kids as loyal and obedient, while implying his other children lacked respect or spiritual worth. Fans were quick to call it out. This was no longer about fairness. It was a hierarchy, and Robyn's family sat squarely at the top. Then came the tragedy. The death of Garrison Brown shattered whatever fragile ties remained. It was a heartbreaking reminder of how quickly time runs out, and perhaps a brutal wake-up call for Kody. In the aftermath, he spoke of regret, of loss, of trying to rebuild broken bridges with the children he had once kept at arm's length. Viewers watched him reach out, slowly, carefully, maybe even desperately, to Janelle's and Christine's families. Maybe he was realizing just how much had slipped through his fingers. And Robyn? She didn't say much at first, but then came an announcement that left fans raising their eyebrows. She and Kody would begin taking annual trips to Wyoming. So their children, she said, could build roots in the land Kody once called home. Wyoming isn't just geography, it's emotion. It's Kody's past, his father's land, his childhood memories, and 1,000 moments shared with his original wives. To fans, Robyn's sudden interest in Wyoming felt hollow. Her children had their own history, their own biological father, their own early years. Planting roots in a place that wasn't theirs felt once again like an attempt to overwrite what had come before. Déjà vu. The portrait, the sermon, and now a family pilgrimage built on fiction. At the heart of it all is one simple truth. History can't be erased. But Robyn keeps trying, whether it's through legal adoptions, emotionally loaded artwork, or curated travel plans. Her pattern is clear. She's uncomfortable with the reality of her past and continually reshapes it, always placing Kody at the center. And people are noticing. Social media is bursting with commentary. Fans dissect every frame, every word. Reddit threads, Facebook groups, YouTube breakdowns. They're filled with screenshots, timelines, and emotional testimonies. One fan summed it up perfectly. Robyn doesn't just want to be part of the story. She wants to rewrite the whole book. But there's something even more important than fan reactions. The children, Dayton, Aurora, Brianna, they were born into a different life. Complicated, perhaps, painful at times. But it was theirs. To pretend otherwise is to strip them of their truth. Children, like anyone, deserve to have their origin stories respected, not rebranded. At the same time, the rift between Robyn's children and the rest of the Brown kids has only grown. Robyn often holds her children up as the most loyal, the most respectful, the most deserving of Kody's love. Whether she means to or not, the result is the same, the marginalization of Kody's other 13 children. Many of them have spoken publicly about their pain, their disappointment, and their disillusionment with both their father and the family as a whole. The anger among longtime fans is palpable. This family, once introduced to the world as a bold experiment in unity, has become a case study in division. What once looked like inclusion now looks like exclusion. And at the center of the storm, Robyn. The idea that you can rewrite the past to make the present feel better, that's not new. It's human. But reality TV doesn't forget. The truth always finds its way to the surface. Robyn Brown may continue to curate her family's story, but fans remember who was there first, who gave up the most, and who's telling the truth. Her memories may win favor in Kody's eyes, but they've cost her the trust of the audience. She's no longer seen as the woman trying to blend families, but as someone trying to override them. And in the world of reality TV, where every word and every tear lives on in reruns and reaction videos, one thing is certain: you can't erase what's already been documented. No matter how many portraits you paint, how many speeches you cry through, or how many trips you take to Wyoming, the truth remains. Robyn Brown didn't create the Brown family, but she just might be helping to unravel it. Since its debut in 2010, TLC's Sister Wives has offered viewers an intimate look into the life of the polygamist Brown family. At its heart is Kody Brown, navigating 4 marriages, 18 children, and a belief system rooted in faith, family, and complexity. But time changes everything. Over the years, the family has splintered. Separation, new love, personal growth. And through it all, one name continues to ignite debate: Robyn Brown. She joined the family in 2010, bringing with her 3 children from a previous marriage: Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. Her arrival reshaped everything, not just the household dynamics, but the emotional balance of the entire family. She wanted unity, that was clear, but the way she went about it, that's where things get murky. Kody legally divorced his first wife, Meri, to marry Robyn, a move framed as necessary to adopt her children. It gave them security, a new name, a new start. But it also sent a message that Robyn, legally and symbolically, now stood in a place the other wives never would. Then came the portrait, a younger version of Kody cradling Robyn's 3 toddlers: Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. A fabricated memory, a symbolic fiction, one that erased not just their biological father, David Jessup, but the timeline entirely. The faces of Christine's children removed, replaced with Robyn's. Fans were stunned, some were moved, others disturbed. Christine and Kody's daughter, Gwendolyn, didn't mince words. She compared it to a cringe-worthy sitcom moment. "It takes away our history," she said, and she wasn't wrong, because that's what the portrait did. It wasn't just art. It was a statement that the past can be rewritten, that memory is malleable, and that Robyn's version of the story is the one that matters most. It wasn't the first time, and it wouldn't be the last. From monologues about purity to decisions about name changes, Robyn has consistently pushed toward rewriting, not just her story, but her children's, always in ways that place Kody at the center, always reshaping what came before. It's a delicate balance, building new bonds while honoring old ones. And sometimes Robyn's choices tip that balance too far. The emotional impact on Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna is hard to fully measure. The show captures smiles and hugs, but behind the scenes, there's complexity, grief, identity questions, emotional terrain too deep for television. Taking Kody's name gave them a sense of belonging. But what did they lose in the process? Their past, their father, their story? These questions hang heavy for viewers, for the family, and most of all, for the children, because this isn't just a TV show. It's a life, a family, a legacy. And when that legacy is rewritten, even with good intentions, it changes everything.
A face. How about you? You've been in this for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Are you going to stay in it for a long time until Kody realizes what he has in you?
While Sister Wives set out to offer insight into the lives of a polygamous family, it has done more than document domestic life. It has pulled back the curtain on ethical dilemmas, emotional fractures, and the sometimes painful truth behind blended family dynamics. At the center of that narrative stands Robyn Brown, a symbol of complexity, ambition, and controversy. Her journey, filled with symbolic gestures and emotional appeals, was meant to unite, to merge her children's lives with Kody's, to create one family under a single narrative. But in doing so, she sparked debates about memory, about identity, and about rewriting the past. As the series unfolds, it becomes more than just a story about plural marriage. It becomes a meditation on what it means to honor the past while building a future. But that balance is fragile, and in the Brown family, it seems to have shattered. TLC has finally had enough. Kody Brown is out. But what pushed the network over the edge? Explosive new rumors point to something darker than anyone imagined, a chilling whisper of a planned murder plot, with all eyes turning to Robyn. And in a moment no fan saw coming, Janelle confronts Robyn face to face in a confrontation so intense it could change sister wives forever. The family dynamics have never been more unstable. Once, Kody Brown stood at the heart of a household with 4 wives. Now, only Robyn remains. Christine, Janelle, and Meri are gone, and the breakup of those bonds has been marked by bitterness, confrontation, and regret. Janelle has had enough. In a recent episode, she didn't hold back, calling out Kody's favoritism, even mocking his strange comparison of Robyn to a diesel jeans model. The message was clear. The other wives were tired of being second best. Robyn, for her part, pushed back. "There's this new concept," she said, "that I've got Kody wrapped around my little finger, that I'm casting evil spells on him. How ridiculous." But viewers weren't buying it. The cracks in the family were deeper than hurt feelings. They were fractures widened by loss. In 2024, tragedy struck. Robert Garrison Brown, Janelle and Kody's son, died by suicide. He was 25 years old. In the May 11th episode, Kody spoke with raw honesty about the grief that now haunts him. "Grief hits you in waves," he said. "When it hits me, I can't run from it." For once, the stoic father was stripped bare. He admitted to anxiety attacks, to moments of helplessness. He remembered rocking Garrison to sleep, and now carrying his ashes back to Wyoming to be laid beside Kody's parents. "I wanted to finish the circle," he said quietly. "It was a father's pilgrimage, a grieving man's ritual. But grief is never clean, because Kody and Garrison were estranged before he died. Their bond, once tight, was frayed by COVID protocols and family politics. Garrison, independent and outspoken, had pulled away, and now all that's left is silence. Sometimes it hits out of nowhere," Kody admitted, "like a wave, a gut punch, a flash of everything left unsaid." In his garage, he keeps a poster of Garrison, a reminder, a monument to what was lost. "It's a game of consciousness," he said, "to make your blood sweet, not bitter, from the pain." Janelle's pain is just as deep. She posted a photo, black and white, her and Garrison together. The caption shattered hearts across the internet. "It's taken a while to accept that we did everything we could," she wrote. "Sometimes the mind convinces someone there's no hope, even when all the evidence says otherwise." She thanked her other children, her grandchildren, her faith. "I know I'll see him again one day," she said. The May 4th episode acknowledged Garrison's death, but the May 11th episode was something else. It dove into the aftermath, into the grief, the blame, the quiet ache that now lingers in every scene. The Brown family has unraveled. Christine, Meri, and Janelle have all left. Robyn remains, married in spirit, if not in legality. And yet, in this terrible moment, even the most estranged family members came together, if only in mourning. "This pain," Kody said, "doesn't care who you were mad at last year. It just breaks you open." For years, fans watched the show for its spectacle, for the tension, the jealousy, the fights. But in that episode, something shifted. Reality broke through. Behind the cameras, they saw what was always there: people who bleed, who cry, who ache. The family has begun using their platform to speak out. At the end of the episode, TLC posted a message for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Kody and Janelle urged viewers to check in with the ones who seem okay, because Garrison seemed okay. He had a home, a job, pets, plans, and yet he's gone. That's what haunts me, Janelle said. He looked like he was okay. This grief is now part of the show's DNA, woven into every storyline, every silence, every missed moment. Not just as a tragedy, but as a call for vulnerability, for reconnection. I thought we'd have more time, Kody said. Time to talk, time to heal. But time doesn't wait, and sometimes it runs out too soon. Janelle Brown, now 56, has weathered every storm. For nearly 3 decades, she stood by Kody's side, navigated plural marriage, raised 6 children, built a life few could understand. But nothing prepared her for this, and nothing will ever be the same again.
Right to the threshold, and I started looking for the back door, basically, emotionally. I was like, how do I get out of this? It's so vulnerable, and I felt the vulnerability.
Janelle stood beside Kody, navigating the complexities of plural marriage, raising 6 children, and trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy within a lifestyle few could fully understand. But when the COVID-19 pandemic struck, it didn't just test public systems, it tested families. And for the Browns, it became the unraveling thread. Kody's increasingly rigid rules about quarantine and family interaction drew sharp lines across the household. His adult children pushed back, especially Garrison Brown. Free-spirited and sharp-witted, Garrison had a deep love for animals and a soft spot for his siblings. He was adored by many, especially by his mother. But his relationship with Kody frayed. Control replaced connection. Rules replaced warmth. Still, Janelle stood steady, Garrison's anchor, his advocate. But even the strongest love couldn't shield him from the battles he faced within. On March 5, 2024, Garrison died by suicide at just 25 years old. The loss was devastating, not only to the Brown family, but to fans who had watched him grow up on screen. Garrison had been a light, sarcastic, insightful, tender. He had a future, a home he loved, dreams that had only begun to unfold. And just like that, he was gone. It was a painful reminder of how invisible mental health struggles can be, especially for young men. Now, over a year later, Janelle faces her second Mother's Day without him. On camera, she remains composed, but beneath that grace simmers a grief that never quite quiets. Not loud, not dramatic, just constant, lingering, like a wound that never fully closes. In season 19, we watch her try to hold it all together for the sake of her other children, especially Savannah. At just 20 years old, she now walks with a kind of sadness that most people don't face until much later in life. Together, they go through the motions of everyday life, planning, building, hoping. But always, there's the shadow of absence. There's a scene, quiet, powerful, where Janelle and Savannah stand on a plot of land in North Carolina. Janelle had recently purchased it, hoping for peace, for a new beginning, a place to call her own after years of uncertainty. But the silence is heavy. Garrison never saw this land, she says, her voice cracking. He'll never walk this soil, never see the sunrise over the trees, never sit on the porch she dreams of building. This new chapter, as full of promise as it is, carries the weight of all that will never be. For Christine Brown, the grief was different, but no less real. Garrison wasn't her biological son, but she helped raise him. During those early years, while Janelle worked outside the home, Christine was there, feeding him, rocking him, playing with him. Garrison was just a baby in her arms, and over the years, that quiet caretaking grew into a bond of its own. Christine has often said the children of her sister wives are her children too, and never has that felt more true than when she speaks about Garrison. In one emotional episode, she talks to her new husband, David Woolley, about Garrison, about his humor, his heart, and how happy she was that he made it to their wedding. But even that joyful memory is now laced with sorrow. He should have been at every family wedding, she says through tears. There were so many things still ahead. Her grief mirrors Janelle's, different paths, same ache. Together, their pain paints a portrait of what the Brown family used to be. Unconventional, yes, but full of love, shared responsibility, and the kind of deep bonds that transcend titles like step or half. As Sister Wives continues, it feels less like a show about polygamy and more like a raw documentary about loss, resilience, and the price of emotional distance. The May 4th and May 11th episodes of Season 19 were unlike any the series had aired before. They addressed Garrison's death with honesty, with heartbreak, with silence. The family traveled to Wyoming, Kody's childhood home, to lay Garrison's ashes to rest beside his grandparents, a quiet, sacred place, a symbolic end to a life cut far too short. During those memorial scenes, viewers saw a side of Kody rarely captured by cameras, vulnerable, open, human. He spoke of rocking Garrison to sleep, of carrying him, of all the things he wished he'd said, all the things they'd never do again. Despite their estrangement, Kody's love for his son was clear, and his grief overwhelming. "It hits me out of nowhere," he said, "like an anxiety attack, a deep, sudden weight, and I realize I'll never see him again." He keeps a poster of Garrison in his garage, not just to remember him, but to reckon with the reality of everything they lost. "It's a game of consciousness," Kody says, "to make your blood sweet instead of bitter from the pain." Janelle's heartbreak runs parallel. She took to Instagram with a black and white photo, her and Garrison, side by side. "We did everything we could," she wrote. But sometimes the mind convinces someone there's no hope, even when the evidence says otherwise. She spoke of gratitude for the children still with her, and faith in the reunion she believes is waiting. "Because of my faith," she wrote, "I know I'll be reunited with Garrison one day." The loss was first mentioned on the May 4th episode, but it was the May 11th episode that took fans inside the grief, uncovered the layers, showed how even reality TV can capture reality in its most heartbreaking form. Kody, Janelle, Christine, Savannah, each broken in their own way, each finding a way to move forward without moving on. This tragedy has become a turning point for the family. For all the fights, the drama, the favoritism, the jealousy, this is the one thing that made everything stop. That silenced even the harshest critics. For a moment, the bitterness faded, and only the loss remained. Kody, often criticized for emotional distance, let the cameras capture his pain, his love, his regrets. "There's so much I didn't say," he admitted, "so much we didn't do." Because grief doesn't care about your mistakes. It just hits you. And in Kody's case, it hit hard. His estranged children, his broken family. All of it came rushing in, and Garrison's death became the moment everything changed.